in this network, in this professional association, because I feel really connected with them. I feel their energy. And that's really my experience with PWA. One of the things I loved about PWA is that we challenge each other to stretch, to thrive, and to go beyond what we think we are capable of. It is really a place that you can come back to again and again throughout your career, throughout your reconnecting with yourself, throughout your transition in your career, throughout re-energizing yourself. And if you don't have a powerful professional network, please join us. Please talk with us. Please let us know what you appreciate in this association. Let us know how we can be an added value to your professional and personal life. I have met the most beautiful people in PWA. And the reason why we are gathered tonight, it's because we wanted to grow more together, to be stronger after we have overcome this difficult and delicate situation. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you my colleague Gaia Marrano, who is our programming director and who had been so innovative and creative in creating a program that would suit your lifestyle right now. And of course, once again, I thank you, Kass, in advance. Kass Thomas is a model of a membership in PWA. You know, for many years, she followed us, and now she's officially our member. And this is the kind of member we are looking for: strong, independent, business professional who loves to empower other women, who loves to help other people, who wants to be an added value to other people's lives. So enjoy your evening and feel free, ignite with each other and have the best conversation we are having tonight. Welcome.
So just before leaving the word to Kass, I think it's nice to share with you a little and brief, I swear, anecdote about how I met Kass. It happened, I think, almost 3 years ago. I was attending a social event in Rome, and I was committed into a conversation, very intense, very profound, but through the corner of my eyes, I saw in the room a beautiful lady with a big smile, and she was surrounded by women. And it seemed to me, I was very curious, but I couldn't hear very well. They were thanking her. They tried to hug her and continuously shaking her hands. But I hadn't the chance to ask who was that lady. The year after, I attended to an international conference about leadership and women, and I signed up to one workshop that was held by a certain Kass Thomas that I didn't know about. And it was 7 steps to a flawless communication. So as soon as I reached the room where the speaker was supposed to talk, I recognized her. And it was a beautiful feeling to see again that what I saw few years before happened again, because right after the workshop, there were actually women not only laughing because they were very satisfied with the workshop, but also crying because it was very, very intense and emotional. And I saw many women going to her and actually say, thank you. And I think this is something that we do not usually have so easily from a speaker. Because, I mean, you can have some technical tips, some useful, suggestion, but it's very hard that you find someone that is able to touch the strings of your heart. So I really hope that tonight this is gonna happen to you as it happened to me, and I leave the stage to Kass.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, ladies. And it's so interesting. A lot of times we have some expectations from something. So and some, so the PWA goes beyond expectations. I'm so delighted every time I join PWA. These meetings, the live meetings, and also now the online. You guys have been amazing at transferring it online, and each and every time there is an interaction with people, and interacting with people who actually are willing to see your brilliance, and know that you have something special is quite unique. So compliments to you. I've been living in Rome for over 20 years, and PWA has been around for a long time. And each and every time, it's an it is a new experience. So I'm very excited about this new team, and quite honored to be here. And isn't it interesting what Gaia was saying, that she had seen me a few years before, that she then saw me a couple of years later. And then she mentioned to the team that she would like to invite me. And there's another member of the team, Katerina, who said, wait a minute, you want to invite Kass Thomas? I know her. She's at the tennis club that I'm at. How much are we doing in our lives? How much have we done in our lives that maybe it doesn't show up the way we think it's going to? Maybe we think, oh, it was not a great decision to do that, or oh, there was no follow up to that. But if we're willing to really follow our gut feeling, follow our intuition, follow our knowing, really to be connected with what brings us joy and what allows us to really be genuinely, authentically who we are, then it is always creating something in the future. So I'm very honored and was delighted and began laughing when Gaia was telling this story, because all the sometimes you have to walk up the hill both ways, in the snow to do something, but you're driven to do that because it reflects who you are, because it's in harmony with what you'd like to have in life, because it is an extra effort. You might have, the kids at home, a partner at home, the house that needs something, the parents, but you make an extra effort to do something because it speaks to you. And how much of that is creating not only for now, but something in the future. So how many examples of this show up in our life? And are we willing really to, as Gurley was saying, be connected with ourselves, you know, in a way that we never feel wrong. We never doubt ourselves. We never lose our self confidence, even if the situation we're in is challenging, even if we're receiving criticism or judgment from someone, we don't take it as the truth of who we are. We actually are willing to hear it, are willing to listen to it, but it doesn't destabilize who we are. And this step in, step up, step out is quite simple. 3 steps, you know. Uh, as Gaia said, she came to a conference on my 7 steps. Before that, I was writing a book on communication with research and everything. That was so big that in the end came out to a little small book, my first book. And what is the basic? What are the basics? What is the simplicity and the genuine nature of who we are? That if we start from there, then no matter how complicated life can be, no matter how many tasks we have, no matter how challenging the work situation or the family situation is, we always are able to get back to the essence of who we are, you know? And so starting a career, starting a family, and engaging in a relationship with friends or with lovers or with mates, right? If we are trying to do the right thing, be a certain personality, a certain character, that is not, I always say, vibrationally compatible with who we are, sometimes we can get really uncomfortable, right? So having easy access to you is something I love, because changing countries, changing jobs. Somebody was on earlier talking about their job changed, and believe me, I've had many in different countries, different languages, even languages that I don't necessarily speak. But recognizing also, as Gurley was saying, that the first language, the basic language, is without words. It really is. So knowing what keeps you in sync with you allows you to make choices in life that are really quite rewarding and invigorating and inspirational and motivational. And you can be that really for the world. A lot of times we feel like we're alone. Right? Has anybody here ever felt like they had to do everything on their own? Right? If you got to get something done, you got to do it on your own. We're never alone. We're never on our own. And I love this PWA, Professional Women's Association, because we may not be perfectly someone else. We may not think we're perfect, but we are absolutely perfectly who we are. There's nobody in the world that does us better than we do. There's nobody that does you better than you, right? So stepping into our lives, stepping into the truth of who we are without any judgment, without any expectations, and being willing to be surprised. How much have we done in our lives that maybe we didn't categorize it as a good thing or a bad thing, so we don't even remember it. And this is a really soft and gentle way to um, get to know you. There's a great jazz song. They said I could sing on this. There's a great jazz song that is called Let Me Introduce You to Yourself. I believe you two have never really met. If you take a little time to get acquainted, you can settle all your differences, I bet. Right? It's a really lovely song. Do you want me to sing it for you? Let me introduce you to yourself. I believe you two have never really met. If you take a little time to get acquainted, you can settle all your differences, I bet. And I love that song uh, because a lot of times we don't actually know who and what we are. You know, when we're born as kids, as babies, we do. And slowly but surely, we're trying to get it right or to get it wrong, you know, but it's still the same coin, just a different side. What if we're really willing to acknowledge that we can't get us wrong? You can't get you wrong. Isn't that cool? You're perfectly you. And this stepping in is an invitation for you to acknowledge that what you know, what you desire, what you like, what makes your heart sing is going to be not only a contribution to you, but it all starts with you. but also a contribution to anyone and everyone around you. Because when you don't have up your barriers, or when you're not feeling nervous, or when you're not going into judgment of yourself, people are not picking up on that. And they're picking up on an ease, a peacefulness, and you're letting your sort of inner beauty shine, and that illuminates the inner beauty in other people. It's really amazing. It's so easy to see how great other people are, right? Are you willing to see how great you are? How amazingly, perfectly you are. And what the various components of that are and can be. So we have some questions to ask you, and they're sort of a little tricky, but simple. They're simple, but the trick is to sort of open up that door, open up those windows, open up your welcoming of you. Yeah, cool. All right. So stepping in, stepping up, and we'll talk about that later. But these questions, these first questions are about stepping in. Let's see if they inspire you. This is so cool because PWA, they're professional women's association, not like the average women's association. That would be the AWA, but this is the PWA. So you can actually click on the responses here, and I'll walk you through them. Yeah. Oh, there it is. So the question is, what is it about you that you are the most proud of? Right? What is it about you that you are like, this is good about me? I know I can do this. I know that this is what works for me. I know that I'm good at this, right? Is it the way your thinking capacity, the way your mind works? That's the first choice, right? The way you come up with solutions. A lot of people do that. The way if you figure out different equations, you can come up with plans, creative capacity, right? Is it your body? Maybe you do, you're quite healthy, you're eating well, you're working out perhaps, right? You do meditation or whatever that is, your body. Or is it your ability, right, to relate to others? A lot of people in this group interact with others, talk with others, understand others, right? So just give a little click to one of those. Is it your mind? Is it your body? Is it your personality? That's basically what that is. Right? I didn't know these were all going to be on the same screen, so I'll read the next question. Is everyone, you can put your thumbs up if everyone has responded to that. The second question is it easy for you to say no to people? Some people, one of the programs, one of the exercises I give to people is to, I can tell you, to try to get 5 no's in one day. Try to get 5 different people to say no to you. It's so funny when we're willing to receive a no that we usually don't get a no. But are you able to say no to people if people ask you to do something for them, or ask you for a favor, or ask you for money, or ask you to do something for free, or ask you to do something that doesn't even really align with you? Is it easy for you to say no? Excuse me, could you do this for me? No. Oh, excuse me, can you take this over for me? No, I'm sorry, I really can't. It doesn't work for me right now. How easy is it for you to say no? Is it easy? Yes or no? And this is funny because one of the answers here is no. So is it easy for you to say no? No. Yeah. And one of the invitations with this question also is, how can you say no without it being a choice against someone else? You know, hi, would you like to do that? No, no, thank you so much. No. Would you like to come to dinner? No, thank you so much, though. No. Without it being you looking for a justification for your no. Okay. And question number 3, what is it that makes you say yes to someone? What is it that makes you say yes, that inspires you to say yes, right? And I often say yes to someone simply because I don't want to hurt them, because I think that they know more than I do, right? Or I don't have the courage to say no. Or is it something else? What is it that gets you to say yes to someone? All right. My thinking, we've got, do you want to say that, Gaia? What's the percentages there of the responses?
These are the percentage of
Yeah.
all the responses we received. Yes.
Okay. So the first question, what's the percentage? 45% said their thinking abilities, their body, very few. And the winner is my capacity to relate to others. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Very few with the body. And it's easy for you to say no, no. Oh, it was easy for you to say no because you said no. We acknowledge that. And what makes you say yes, that you don't want to hurt someone? Okay, so that's yeah. And how much are we really, just starting at the end there, how much are we choosing things in our lives for others? A lot of times, you know, we don't want to really step up because we are not wanting to outshine somebody else, right? We're trying often to make someone else feel good. Could be our sister, could be our moms, right? You might be, how many people don't want to be more beautiful than their mom or more talented than their dad, right? Or don't want to make someone else feel small. So we diminish ourselves or we keep ourselves low. Or in stepping up, we feel like we have to ignore someone else. What if that stepping up in your life has very little to do with other people and has more to do with you? A lot of times we think that keeping ourselves on a right below the radar, right, allows us to be more in connection and more in contact with others, and that makes them happy because of some of the ways they've responded to us. And a lot of people said that relating to other people is something that is the thing they're most proud of. It's so interesting that if you are not saying something, being something, doing something, people don't have anything to react to. So what if you stepping up, right, being willing to go beyond any limits would actually give people an inspiration for them to step up as well, right? this stepping into your life, being willing to honor you, right? And you've got a great mind. So a lot of people said that they're great at thinking. Um, you also have the capacity, of course, to interact with other people, but you also have a body. That's why we're here, right? We're here on this planet, something that we have in common. We have a body, right? What if you were honoring your body once a day, right? Not just, I got my nails done today, not just with your nails. I got my nails done for you guys today, but also for me. You know, I'm doing movement with my body because that allows me to be so connected with me. An integral part of my life is my body. And so when I am connected with my body, the way I walk, the way I talk, the way I connect with other people is amazing. And your body gives you so much information so that we call it gut feeling, we call it intuition, we call it sixth sense. But you can always identify, and your body helps you with this, what is working for you, what will work for you, and what doesn't. So I would love to invite you to just see how trusting you could be and how proud you could be of your body. I mean, women, we've got amazing bodies. They're able to do so many things, not only connected with the cycles of the moon and the waves and the tide, right? Having children, the ability to have children, having, other nice parts of our body, um, and also these amazing hearts, you know? So, what is it that gets your heart beating in a way that can spread your love around the world, really? And so, stepping into you allows you to step up in a very different way and to explore some of your talents and abilities that may not be the work you do. You know, I just did an interview today, and the my interviewer, I always love to listen to people present me because they remind me of things I may not have remembered that are some of the talents I have that I may not be utilizing in one of my various businesses or workshops at the moment, but they're all part of who we are. And which one of those talents and abilities really resonate in a really profound way with what we'd like to see in our lives, what we'd always have actually wanted to have in our lives. It may not be a business or a job that brings you money. However, it may be an activity or something that you engage with that is so nurturing for you, so refreshing for you, that any activity or job you do or business you have that does bring you money is is inspired because when you arrive there, those other activities, those other talents that you've been using have given you a drive and excitement and aliveness, a presence, a joy that makes you do your profession, your job, your career, your business in a very present way and in a very alive way. And it has ignited every molecule in your body and every cell. And people are like, wow, how dynamic is she? Maybe because she was riding horses, maybe because she was playing tennis, maybe because she was swimming, maybe because she was making, like our friend on the line here, making a dinner, cooking. Yeah, so what is it that you love doing that maybe you're not including because you're too busy with the family, with the mate, with the business, right? There was a great commercial years ago. I don't know if any of you have remember this from the U.S. There was a great commercial talking about women, and I don't know if you're familiar with the expression to bring home the bacon, right? It's not just about cooking it, it's bringing home the bacon means making the money, right? And the commercial was, I can bring home the bacon, I can fry it up in the pan and never let him forget he's a man because I'm a woman. WOMAN. And we have those capacities. We have an infinite number of capacities um, as human beings. And as women, we have our unique flavor, right? So that commercial, I love that. We're going to go into another series of questions about stepping up, about acknowledging your talents and abilities. I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never ever let him forget he's a man, 'cause I'm a woman, WOMAN. So what is it that you, so bring home the money, cook the meal, and also be a good wife. How's it getting better than that? So let's let's look at these questions. What are your talents and abilities that you have that perhaps you can engage with a bit more? Yeah. So this is stepping up and acknowledging those. Yeah. And recognizing what some of those talents are and what some of those intuitive desires we had. What did you dream of doing or being, right? When you were young, let's say maybe 8 years old. And does anyone remember that? Something at the age of 8 that you said, wow, when I grow up, I want to do this, or this is something I want to do in my life. And are you living those dreams? When I was 8, I had a teacher in my school. I was in the, neighborhood, in the hood in Boston. And at the time, we were not learning languages in schools, right? But this teacher, third grade teacher, would write on the board every morning, Bonjour, aujourd'hui est lundi. Bonjour, aujourd'hui est mardi. Bonjour, aujourd'hui est mercredi, which is basically good. Hello, today is Monday, today is Tuesday, today is Wednesday in French. Right? And there were lots of Indians, Dominicans, and Haitians and Blacks, Americans, and Jewish, and WASPs and everything in the neighborhood, right? The melting pot. But I had never had every day of my life for a year someone speaking in French, just one sentence. And at the age of 8, I said, at the end of the year, one day I'm going to go and live in Paris and I'm going to speak French. So, what is it that you at 8 years old thought about doing or being? What was your dream? And are you doing and living that dream? Yes or no? It's not wrong or right, just a question. Yeah. Question number 2, what inspires you the most? Right? When is it that you get inspired? Is it when you're interacting with people? Of course, this group with the Professional Women's Association, but when you're interacting with people, right? When you're talking with friends and people maybe that you don't know, when you're talking with friends, when you're engaging with your family, right? When you're doing some physical activity, working out, playing tennis, right? Does that inspire you? Obviously, I play some tennis, right? Or is it when you're spending time alone? When is it that you get inspired, that you ideas, creation ideas come? I remember once a girlfriend of mine was talking about when she was out in the garden, working in the garden, and she got this idea for a poem. And she had to run into the house to write this poem down so she wouldn't forget it. And the idea of the poem was like leaving her mind. And it was so funny. She said she had to grab the end of that poem and pull it back into her mind so that she could get it and write it down. Right. So she, working in the garden, inspired that. What is it? You know, we just came up with some ideas. Can they click more than one?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay. So you can click more than one. And it's important to know what inspires you. You know, that's what the sort of tricky thing about these questions is, right? The first question to actually to connect again, reunite with something that you may have wanted to do, that you may already be doing, that you may not acknowledge that you chose it because it was something that you knew from the beginning was where you wanted to be or do. And if not, how can you invite or see if that's something that adding it to your life will be a contribution to creating more ease, right? Were you inspired? You know, are you inspired when you're with the family? Do you get creative? And the third question, right? Do you always feel confident in your own abilities? It is so funny. Once I was with some friends at a couple of friends' house in Copenhagen. You know, I, we weren't speaking, you know, in Danish, but I was talking with them, and every word I was saying, I was like, "Oh, am I saying this word right in English? Am I saying this word right? Am I, you know?" A lot of times when we're not feeling confident about an ability to talk in our native tongue, whether it's Italian, whether it's something, how much is that us really having the ability to see where other people might not be feeling comfortable? This is a bit further than this simple question, but please know that we have a lot of abilities that if we're willing to be connected with ourselves, to step in to our capacities and step up, then we cannot have doubt about what we're capable of, right? So, Truth, do you always feel?
Please, few seconds and I will end the polling, okay?
Okay. Do you always feel confident, right? In your own abilities? Yes or no? All right, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Not living the dreams to life. Okay. 85%. Cool. Great if you are. And what else? And what else, right? Um, Inspired the most? Oh, great. There's a lot of different stuff. The least when you're doing physical exercises, that sort of matches the proud, being proud of your body, right? And what are physical. Walking is a physical exercise. A lot of times you go walking through the woods, right? So there's a lot of different stuff there. Great. And what's the last one? I think, oh, is it me who has to scroll up? No.
Yes, you have to scroll it.
Okay, so you can tell me the percentages there.
So do you always feel confident in your own abilities? 65% said no, and
No.
only
Okay.
35 yes.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for playing with that. So what talents and abilities do you have that you may not have activated yet? And in this step up, really rediscovering you is such a joyful activity. And having people, especially like this, is a bit like a tribe, having people who hear you, who see you, and who are able to share that with you allows you to see some of the things, the talents and abilities you have that you may not have yet acknowledged and recognized. And how much can that uh, allow you to have more fun? Because what if life, the purpose of life, the reason we're here was about joy, not just about exhausting ourselves or doing things out of responsibility and obligation, but actually having fun, right? And exploring more of who we are. And once you've stepped into your life, you've really recognized what it is that brings you, um, that raises your vibration of joy. Laughter, for example, is for me. Um, Dinner with friends is great for me. And tennis is great for me. And hugging people is wonderful for me. And Gaia talked about that. And seeing someone acknowledge themselves and choose something in their lives is amazing for me. And that inspires me to do 10 times as much as I would do without satisfying that in me. So, what is it that inspires you? What is it that would get your engine smoothly running, your energy flowing, so that you can really step out in a very different way? Yeah. And what does it mean to step out? A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be like public. I don't want to be like, so, the famous that people are always following me. That we've got a famous soccer player in Rome, Totti, who said, I would love to be able to walk out my house one day without having to sign an autograph. But stepping out is a bit about stepping out of this box and these confines and this definition that we call our lives at the moment. And it's also about being willing to see who and what in the world would be joyful for you to engage with. That may be, yes, being so visible and being a important figure in the world. It may also be about being able to see that there are some nonprofit organizations that your unique talent could be a contribution to, right? So just seeing how being able to step out from the confines and the limitations and exploring new possibilities from that connected space, from that acknowledging your talent space, and from that desire to truly be a contribution to your life, have your cup overflowing with water so that all the water that overflows is fresh and you have a huge amount to be able to contribute to people. So we do have a couple of questions about this stepping out. Let's go, baby. Yeah. So how often are you able to assert yourself? Now, assert yourself is about being sure of what you're asking for. Usually being sure about what you desire in a business, in a team meeting, in a the contribution you can be to a team, even if you are on a financial team, but you've never actually had that kind of experience. But there's something that only you can see from your perspective that you may be able to contribute to any team. So, how often are you willing to assert yourself? Rarely. To speak up. Speak up. That's a great way of saying it. Rarely, sometimes, or most of the time. Sometimes people are considered arrogant if they are too assertive, right? What if arrogance were not a negative? What if it is just knowing what you know and being confident and willing to share? Yeah. So rarely, sometimes, or most of the time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Question 2, and there's only 2. If you could magically change or improve one area of your life, which would that be? The first area of your life. It's like if you had the genie in the bottle and you were rubbing the bottle, what would your first wish be? To magically change your family rapport, your relationship, your financial situation, your health? Today, what would that be? What would your choice be?
You have the result.
Okay. So we've got 38% sometimes, rarely, great, awesome, 2%, and most of the time, awesome. Professional women. And what is the area? Relationship. Okay. And finding that balance, thank you. Finding that balance in our lives, relationship is the one that has the largest percentage here. The balance between our home lives, between our relationships, and it might be changing your relationship, might be going from not having a relationship to having one, or could be going from having a relationship to not having one. And really, once we are uh, clearly um, clearly approaching our life, our jobs, our careers, our relationships, first in honoring ourselves. Believe me, it is the greatest contribution to the family, to the job, to everyone, because it allows people to interact with you without walking on their tiptoes. And this step in, step up, step out is also uh, quite an easy way um, for you to expand your life. So please take these tools with you. Please take these questions with you. How much are you willing to acknowledge you? Have you ever been able to get back to you, to the base of you, to the ground level of you, with the quickness and the ease that allows you to live your life every day from a healthy mind, a healthy emotional space, and also with a healthy body. The World Health Organization, when I had a production company, I did a commercial for them. They presented it at the United Nations. And they say 80% of what shows up in our bodies starts with the mind. So, what peace of mind can you have that would allow your body to be healthy, right? And your spirit, your emotions, your relations to be fulfilling. And every time you are willing to do that and be that, the possibilities that open up for you are enormous, are enormous. And you get to recognize your talents and your abilities and then start seeing ways to utilize them to really shine your brilliance and share your magic with the world. Stepping in, stepping up, and stepping out is now the time. Is now the time. I see we have a lot of stuff in the chat. Are any of them questions? Yes. Okay. What would you suggest to young people who are now entering the world of work and are experiencing the first frustrations, the first refusals, and the first doubts? Absolutely. Well, young people, and in Italy we have a different idea of what young people are. But young people are the future of this world. There is so much that is changing. We have absolutely shifted tracks um, in the last couple of years, but thanks to Corona and COVID-19, it's quite obvious how we're doing that. So, how much are the young people trying to duplicate, right? Um, what we, not that we're not young, we're really young too, what we have laid out as the way the world's supposed to move forward. And it's no longer that. I always encourage young people, even 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds, to access what they know, even if it has no imprint yet, footprint yet in this world, in this reality. What is it that they know that they might begin creating that nobody else has yet created? You know, when I first moved to Italy, I didn't even know what these verbs are that say, non si fa in Italy. It is not done. I didn't even know what that was. So I would always be creating something new and that hadn't yet existed. So this is the encouragement I would be to young people, to really ask them, if you didn't have to do follow any predetermined road, what is it that you would choose to do? What is it that would be delightful for you? And see what shows up, and inviting them to actually explore their talents, their abilities that may not yet exist, especially in your world, but that the world is maybe waiting for. Yeah, I hope that's helpful. Uh, Another question. What would you suggest for young? Okay, I don't see any other cues. Oh, do you believe in work? Um, the balance for it doesn't exist. Do you believe in work? The balance for it doesn't exist. What does that mean? Is that
Sorry, it was mine. If you believe in work-life balance, because sometimes I have the feeling, I don't know if other people think as me, that is so hard, so difficult. So when I give it on one side, it seems that I'm stealing from the other.
Yeah, this is a perfect question. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Well, all questions are perfect, um, because it never is loses balance when you start with you. That's why the step in is the first of these three steps. Stepping into you allows you to choose and recognize what the perfect balance is. It doesn't. My colleague and girlfriend Erendira is on the line. She's in Spain. She's from Mexico. She's in Spain, and she's a manager, you know, for years, working. She has a son and a husband, and works. You know, we're creators all the time of things, and she's honoring herself by following programs, taking programs with me, and she's honoring herself and her family by working, bringing home the bacon. And she's honoring her family by having moments to share with them and having clarity about when is the right timing, the right timing. It's not the amount of time, it's the timing when that is going to be most nourishing for the family. So you really have to start with you. A lot of times we're out on a limb, you know what I mean? And oh my gosh, I got to get this for my kid and I got to do this for my husband. Come on back to you. Okay. And use your intuition. What is it that's requiring my attention now? First you, and then access your knowing, your intuition. Does that make sense, Gaia? She went
Yes,
away.
it does
Okay.
make really sense.
Okay.
I want to chime in because actually I really like the fact that you are reminding us to honor ourselves, and really honoring ourselves is basically respecting ourselves. I always believe that you can't give anything to anyone if you don't have it inside yourself.
Absolutely.
You can give it
Absolutely.
if you have it inside yourself.
And this
And
and this example of the glass of water, you know, if is your glass of water half empty or half full, right? But if you're trying, a lot of us are trying desperately to help others, you know, and that's some of the responses to those questions. You know, we don't want to make people feel badly. So that's why we say yes. However, if you're giving out of a half empty glass or even a half full glass, first of all, the water might be a little bit stale, right? It's not completely fresh, maybe, but also sooner or later that glass could empty, and so you may have helped one person, you may have helped two people, but let's even say it's your kids, right? Is your fragile position going to be a contribution to the kid tomorrow, in a year? So you really have to fill your cup up. So even if you're giving drops, it's to the kid because you've got a work thing to do and you've got to take care of a partner or a lover. That drop is so fresh and has such a flow to it that that hour, those 2 minutes, whatever that is, it's full on. And I gave the example of Arendita. You know, she was with her kid once. I love this example that she gives. She was with her son once and her phone was ringing. And her son was like, Mom, your phone is ringing. She said, Yeah, that's fine. I'll look at it later. I'm here with you now, you know, and this is someone who works 20 hours a day. Okay. But when she chose to be with her son, that's where she was. Because and that mere response, I know her son, I love him. That mere response to him, a lot, wow, mom is here with me. Big manager, professional woman, you know, got my dad, she's got to take care of her mom, she's got to take care of, but she's not responding to anybody in this half hour.
I actually, Cass, I mean, we're quite guilty. Somehow I am guilty with that. And it's so important to be present. Like right now we are in a, in a Zoom call, and probably we're thinking somewhere, maybe thinking about dinner, etc., etc. But it means that it's also very easy to make a mistake.
You know, is there any mistake? There's a famous Italian soccer player who said, I think it was soccer, I never lose. I either win or I learn
I
something.
learn.
Yeah. So what if there are no mistakes? Because if you are following your intuition, if you are connecting with you, if you are, and I've got lots of tools to show you how to do that, the truth will always create. Whatever you choose will always create something. It's not about a decision, I have to do this. It's about choosing something and being willing to receive the feedback and the additional information and intuition from that choice. If we go into the wrongness of us, then we are what I call choosing what I call door number one, which leads you down the rabbit hole. You've got to stay present and choose again and choose again and choose again. And what if you didn't have to be the perfect mom? What if you didn't have to be the perfect boss? What if you didn't have to be the perfect teacher? You don't have to be the perfect anything because you're already perfectly you. And so, being willing to be that vulnerability sometimes. Oh, sorry, I forgot to call you on your birthday. I'm really sorry. I love you though. Will people go into reaction? So that stepping into you is never feeling badly about something because you're choosing it because it is what is going to create more in your future and in your relationships and in your work and with you in your life. So you're ready to step in, step up, and step out into the world in a very different way. Anyway, there's just a lot of questions that we didn't get a chance to respond. I would love to invite you to explore more about this. I'll be doing a Zoom follow-up, and you'll send these questions to me. Well,
Absolutely.
December 1, around the same time, about a half hour earlier, and we will have a 45 minutes question and answer session. So you can find that, sign up for that. It's free, and especially for you and for me. It's on the 3steps.us, 3steps.us. And you can find that in the chat. And I'd be happy to talk to anyone. I'm so excited. This accompaniment that I am with people and have been for 15 years. I've been doing coaching sessions around the world, men, women, children, and all kinds of different cultures and languages. And there's something that we all have in common, and that is our unique brand of magic, and that we're here and ready to share it with the world. So I hope this has been a contribution, and that you will join me on December 1, or you can find out more information on uh, 3steps.us. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kass, and thank you to everyone for being here tonight. We have done something different for the first time since COVID-19, and this has been nice to see all your faces and reading your comments. And so we have many questions that we couldn't answer, and I will collect them if Kass agree, so I can share it with her and then maybe find a way to answer to you.
Absolutely. And even if you can't make it to the follow-up call, you can always get the recording. We will send you that for sure.
Absolutely.
And
And I
we'll
will leave
respond to those questions on the call. Yeah.
final word to our president.
Well, I just want to thank you personally, Kass Thomas, as a member and as a professional and as a friend. We are here for you. Get excited and stay tuned, www.pwarome.org, and connect with us. And PWA is your professional association in Rome. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you very soon.
And you will be my guest on Health, Wealth, and Beauty Facebook group. We're doing an interview with the president of
Yes.
PWA next Wednesday in the afternoon. So join us.
Yes, extraordinary encounters, and that's going to be on the 25th of November. We're just, reaching out with women across the globe and talking about PWA, talking about having a tribe wherever you are going. This is who we are, and this is where we're going to be together and stronger and definitely connected. So have a lovely evening. I thank each one of you, especially to all our members, and for staying in touch with us and for always sustaining the association. Thank you and have a nice evening.
See you soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.